I would want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to have this uh, conversation with parents. I spend most of my time, in fact, most of my work day, let's say 3 to 4 hours, 5 hours on an average, speaking to parents, and it's always a delight talking to parents because it is for them and their children that we have built K8 school. And with their overwhelming support, we are doing exceptionally well right now. So K8 school, I'll tell you briefly what K8 school is all about. K8 school is primarily the journey of K8 school started about 3 years ago, I think 2018, when me and some of my fellow educator friends, after having traveled to hundreds of international schools around the world, we were picking bits and pieces of the best practices and the good things from schools from around the globe, and that's when we were kind of making our notes. We were telling ourselves that one day we'll start a school in India, which would primarily be able to cater to children in the formative years, and at the same time that school would bring together some of the best practices that we've kind of made the notes about. So while all of this was not possible in a traditional school, because I wanted to kind of take this opportunity to touch the lives of learners positively all across the length breadth of India. An online school was the only thing that could have made this possible. So K8 School is kind of a result of all of that, and we've kind of brought our learnings together on a single platform, and we've coupled it with some of the best curriculum in the world. Curriculum which is one of the most flexible, one of the most customizable curriculums. We have also coupled it with uh, the world's most powerful accreditation. We've gone through a rigorous process to earn this accreditation. We have housed all the academic infrastructure on a learning management system. We have supported it with a student management system, and we've kind of put together an online school with small capsules of these best practices. And now we are able to serve the larger student and parent community in India. So I'm extremely thankful uh, to everybody who's been involved in this journey. We've made quite a head start, and we continue to have a lot of love, respect, support, enthusiasm, encouragement, motivation, inspiration from a lot of parents. And currently we are serving learners from kindergarten to grade 8. So that primarily means that I'm happy to share this with you. We have learners from every state in the country, and a lot of our learners are enjoying this process of being in extremely culturally diverse and culturally rich classrooms, which was not possible otherwise, uh, so to say, in a physical school. Uh, Very lately, we've got the support of Discovery Education also. Now we are kind of, as you see, powered by Discovery Education in providing a lot of supplemental content, primarily for coding part, for STEM domains through their tech books like Science Tech Book. So all in all, it's a beautiful journey, and I'm enjoying every bit of this. I'm sure a lot of our learners and parents, the way they tell me, they're enjoying it as well. So with that said, I thank each one of you for being here, and it's an opportunity for me to speak to you. I spend a lot of time with people such as yourselves, and you are the people from whom I learn. So I would welcome questions from you, and I'll try my best to give you short answers and as precise as I can. And I'm sure I'll be able to kind of answer your questions appropriately. So I welcome the first question.
Hi, my name is Aditya
Hi,
Ji,
Aditya. Hi,
and
Aditya.
I'm a working professional from the BFSI sector.
Okay.
And I wanted to enroll my kid into K8, but I wanted to understand more about K8 as to what that is, as to how you will drive the education part of it. Because my daughter is just 3.5 years old. So how should we take up online as an education platform for her?
So thank you, Aditya. That's a question that I've been asked many times. While you and I, we come from a schooling system which was more like waking up in the morning, going to the school, getting into a physical classroom, seeing the teachers right in front of us. But there are certain things that I wanted to do besides the ones that happen in physical school. So I think I gave you a brief gist of what K8 School is all about. But I'll jump straight to the curriculum part of it, which drives the main academic infrastructure of the school. So we have got the world's best curriculum. It's an American curriculum, which is housed on a state-of-the-art learning management system. And it's not like a virtual conference platform. It's more like being in a school. So students actually know their timetables, students actually know what is happening. It's like entering a classroom, but entering it virtually. All their study materials, all their textbooks, assignments, whatever they need is kind of housed on a platform. And we kind of doing this in very small class sizes, anywhere from 9 to 20 learners per classroom. So that makes that accounts for a lot of individual focus to each and every student. So when your daughter, who is 3.5 years old, which I think this is the best part of her life, in fact, and we try and make sure that we give her an atmosphere where she could flourish, she could enjoy, she could kind of know more about herself, know more about the environment around her, and we support this academic infrastructure through a lot of in-classroom learning plus a lot of activities besides that. So at the particular age at which your daughter is, we would want to work on her motor skills also. We would want to spend time with her through activities, through dance, through singing, through a lot of other things that we kind of put together around the core academic structure, just to make sure that she spends about 3 hours of classroom time in a very joyous learning atmosphere. And what I've recently observed, what parents tell me a lot, that it's kind of a habit that children have become more adept to using devices and being in front of the laptops and using tablets and these things. So they are looking for content which, one, it makes them learn. Two, it is positively powering them towards kind of a holistic development. And three, it keeps the right amount of screen time. It makes it interesting for them, so they look forward to the next class. So these are primarily the things. I don't know if I've been able to answer your question, but these are primarily the things that we got together over years of research. And I'm sure she's going to love the experience of being in this classroom.
Right, thanks.
Thank you.
I would like to invite the next question.
Hi, this is Sana.
Hi.
I wanted to ask, like you have mentioned on your website that it is affiliated and accredited. So what does it mean, like really?
So accreditation as a concept is primarily about the control of quality. Accreditation, it means that you are kind of faring above a certain minimum threshold level of academic excellence, operational excellence as a school. We are accredited by Cognia. Cognia is the world's largest, most prestigious school accreditor. It has a vintage of about 125 plus years, and it has a network of about 40,000 plus schools of exceptional academic quality. So it's like when K8 School was accredited, it gains an entry into that club of some of the top schools in the world. So if you go and search for the top 100 schools, the top 200 schools around the world, you will see that a lot of such schools are actually accredited by Cognia. So K8 School, as much as I find this, I take a lot of, I wouldn't say, I mean, kind of pride in this, that we are also a part of the same elite group of schools. And we have reached there because we have been able to do well, or perform above a certain threshold level of expectations on a given set of standards, which are primarily driven to check if a school is providing student-centric, continuous and comprehensive improvement. So that is what our accreditation is primarily about. And we are the only, that brings me to an important point. We are the first and the only Cognia accredited online school in India. And this is a question that I get from a lot of other parents also sometimes, that what does it do? One, it helps us to kind of go back to the drawing board every now and then, look at those standards and check if we are still doing anything to improve on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. So it's kind of a mirror for us. So we do a lot of kind of a we give ourselves a lot of self-explanation at the end of the day, that yes, what we did today or what we did over the week or what we did over the month has kind of brought us forward from where we started. That also brings me to another point. When I say the first and the only one, this is an important parameter for schools to actually have a kind of a validity. So I urge all parents to go and check the accreditation status of any school for that matter, especially an online school. When you go to the Cognia's website, or for that matter, any recognized accreditors website, you go to, you find a list of the accredited schools. You go to Cognia's website, you go to the drop down where you find list of accredited schools. You go to the drop down where you can pick country. You can see India there. When you click India, you find that K8 school's name is there. So overall, it's a huge achievement, and I'm happy to say that we're the only one who have managed to come this far in the accreditation process.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you, Saha.
Wonderful. I think we are ready for the next question.
Please.
Hi, this is Sindhu. So I just want to know, what is the value of certificate after completing 8th grade with K8 school? So will my child be able to take admission in any other school?
Oh yes, Sindhu, very valid question. This is the primary, one of the first things that we have to look at. And when I said accredited, we are recognized by an accreditor which is valid all over the world. Cognia itself is present in 85 plus countries at this point in time. The Indian government, whatever balances and checks we need to do to kind of make sure that the certificates of K8 school from a particular grade level are accepted for admission to traditional schools at the next grade level, not just grade 8. We have made sure that we kind of tick those boxes even before we start enrolling the learners. So you can very well be assured that this is something that we've taken care of.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sindhu.
I'm glad that the parents are initiating their questions and they are having all their queries answered. I would like to invite another parent. Please go ahead.
Hi, this is Shifali.
Hi, Shivali.
Hi. And since I just want to ask a very basic question, it might be for me to ask because I am going through a lot with my kids these days since I'm working woman, and I have only one child. She is just turned of 6 years, and I want to know, like, it's very hard to keep one kid to sit in front of laptop and understand what teacher is saying without the parents. If my guidance is not there, how she's supposed to sit right there since it is online education?
Great question. So I'll tell you a couple of points which will help you kind of arrive at the answers to the question that you've asked me. One, we have designed the screen time based on the right amount of research, as in right research. So we want to make sure that children don't spend more time and children don't spend less time. They just take care of the minimum number of credit hours that are required to kind of be in the classroom, in the classroom that K8 school provides. While we do that, we also want to, we have a lot of parent audience who are like, both of husband and wife are working and they have only one child. And I understand the challenges that you face, especially over the last 1.5 years. But rest be assured, children start loving K8 school, and the platform is so easy to access, so easy to use for children, that after a period of time, let's say the first few weeks, they kind of become extremely involved and they become responsive in the sense that they know what is kept where. It's like being in their own activity room. It's like being in their own physical classroom. If they have a study room at home, if they have a table at home, it's like being around the same table. So I think what I learned from most parents when I talk to parents whose children are currently enrolled in K8 school, especially of that particular age group, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, well, they have spent the first few weeks just kind of sitting with a child, moderating, making sure what is where. And let me tell you, children learn faster than what you and I learn. So once you tell them that this is your classroom, this is where your textbooks are, this is where the ma'am will teach you, this is where your assignments are, this is how you have to behave, this is how you have to sit. I think the first few weeks she may need your help. And I'm not saying she may not need your help beyond the 5th or the 10th day also. But after that, I think she will enjoy this whole process. And, believe me, at the end of the first month, she would know the system much better than you and I would. So they explore it
Nice.
so well. It gives them the ability, it kind of system itself is very, very welcoming. So it's very highly engaging, it's very immersive. So they would start enjoying it, and then they'll come and tell you, Mama, look, you forgot to tell me about this tab, and this is where you press this, and this is where I can see my homework. This is what I have to do. So they will love it, trust me.
I'm sure they will. Okay,
Definitely.
I'm looking forward. Thank you.
All the digital natives, indeed, they are loving the future of education. I would like to invite the next question.
Hi, my name is Sudhir Agarwal. I would like to quote one basic question. Are your teachers certified? What kind of education they are holding? As a parent, I would like to know what kind of education the child will get from your teachers. So basically, what kind of certification or what kind of basic education you enroll the kind of teachers into your platform?
Udit, valid concern. All my teachers, in fact, I don't say most of my teachers, all my teachers primarily have a minimum threshold level of teaching experience. They have the valid certification plus internally. So it's not just about what they have done previously, what qualifications they hold. It is also about kind of doing more like an on-job training, what you call in different industries. So what we do is our teachers, we make it mandatory for them to clear a certification process every 6 months, because teaching is a very performance oriented job, and you could have an off day, you could have a very good day. Yeah, we want to also see that whether the teachers have improved from the previous time they took the certification process to the one that they're taking now. So it's like teachers also go through a journey of self improvement. They also teachers also have a lot of mentors. We talk to teachers on a very regular basis. We kind of make sure that if they are facing any challenges, which most teachers don't, if they are facing any challenges, we kind of plug those gaps within 24 hours. And there's another very important point that we kind of check when we hire our teachers. We want to make sure that since we have an online school, and we have all the entire engagement is based over a device, so we try and ensure that each and every teacher has is well trained on netiquettes, is well trained on handling digital devices. So when you see children who are 10, 12 years old, you give them a tablet or a mobile phone, you leave it with them, they come back to you within a few days and tell you, oh, Papa, this is how it happens, or Mama, this is how it happens. So they become far more, as Harsha just said, they are natives of this digital revolution. While you and I, we're primarily a little more archaic in our approach, because we have crossed that threshold. So, but we make sure that we spend a lot of time with our teachers on their academic part, on their pedagogical part, on the operational part also, on how they conduct the classroom, how they conduct themselves in the classroom, how is the entire classroom pace moving along. And plus this, all this is backed by a very strong certification process. So they're all certified, and we've kind of engineered this these ethos of self-improvement and continuous improvement among the teachers also. So as much as we want the children to do well, we want all our teachers to kind of become better teachers, so to say.
Thank you. Thank you for the answer.
Thanks, Udit. Thank you.
Next parent. I'm sure you're having more questions. Please feel free to ask.
All right, so I'll break the ice while I see nobody asking a question here. Hey Sharad, hi. Good to see you and your team, well and
Thanks.
fine, knowing that Delhi went through a very bad period in some months back.
I'm sure all is well at your end also.
And absolutely, and this is hi from Hyderabad for you. All right, so what attracts me is the banner behind you which says Discovery Education, and I would really like to know a bit more about that if you can talk.
Oh, did I miss your name, or did you
Suraj.
not tell?
My name is
Okay.
Suraj.
Suraj, Suraj, we started when we started putting together the idea of KH school, and this was virtually over some coffee table discussions about 3 years ago when me and my group of educator friends were, especially Dr. Rob Levely, one person, if you search about, you would know that he's made a tremendous difference to where KH school today is. So this is primarily, a concept which is also his brainchild, and I contributed to it. So when we were doing this, we wanted to bring some of the best things that we've seen in schools around the world. So I had traveled to, I don't know how many countries now, but I may have easily been to about 500 plus international schools around the world. And Dr. Rob has spent about 45 years in the field of education doing what I've been doing for a much shorter period of time. So when we were doing this, we were thinking, we're kind of making notes, we're saying, okay, we want to have the best curriculum. We want to have some of the best extracurricular activities. What do we want to do outside of the classroom? How do we motivate students? How do we inspire students? And when all this came together, when we had fixed the major academic core of KH school, we thought that there would be something which was needed beyond this to kind of help students imagine, look at, feel, experience the concepts that they see around themselves, the fundamentals, such as what is entropy at a higher grade, or what is heat, what is photosynthesis, how do plants make their food, what is carbon dioxide, things like these, more like science concepts, which they could see, feel, imagine. And that is when we decided that we needed to have a platform where children's education inside the classroom could also be supported with some supplemental education post classroom. And we needed a content where children could actually see and feel these things so that they stay with them, they travel in those concepts. And that is where Discovery Education comes in handy. So our partnership with Discovery Education helps us. So I think a lot of parents have heard about Discovery Channel, but they don't really know that Discovery Education also has an education arm. And it has the same level, same magnitude, and same, so to say, the resolution of content that you see on the channel. So we've tied up with their education vertical. Now we say that we're powered by Discovery Education because we give children access to, and we're doing this, I would want to mention here, without any extra fee. So we want children to have this kind of an opportunity and advantage to experience such content as they would see in real life. And for that, we've powered with Discovery Education. So they are primarily, we do it for the STEM part, and we do it also for coding part. Coding is big these days. I mean, lots of parents want the children to be analytically and logically and a little more sound, and coding helps in that to a certain extent. So we've also tied up with them for coding. So Discovery brings 3 different kind of packages in collaboration with KH School to each one of the learners, irrespective of the grade level. So we give them user IDs and passwords. They go look at those videos. We give them the liberty to come back to the classroom and ask questions on that. But we're feeling over a period of time, children are becoming far more involved. They're becoming more knowledgeable. They're understanding these concepts much better. So that is what Discovery is. It's an exciting partnership.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Suraj.
Amazing. So I see the parents are also, sorry, the parents are taking lead, and I would like to invite another question.
So I have a question. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. How are you, Aditi?
I have a question. Yeah, I'm good. Now, how's a child going to learn socialization? Because it is an online platform. Children will not go to school. So how they are going to socialize with each other?
Yeah, great question. I understand that human beings are more of, as we say, social animals. We want to be around people. But
Yes.
increasingly, we have to understand that the world is becoming digital. So while we would not want children to be in a classroom where the focus of the teacher is limited to a particular child or to a group of children, and she's not able to spend time with each and every child, we have gone into smaller classroom sizes. And that means classroom sizes of 9 to 20. So if you look at a typical classroom at KH school, what you would see is that it is highly improbable that your child will be in a classroom where there is somebody else from the same state, forget about the same city. So they're getting the opportunity to interact with children of the same age group from all across India. And we give them a lot of me time. So we give them a lot of time to spend among themselves, have active discussions, learn from each other. The other day, I was I was sitting as in I was watching one of the classrooms, and I was surprised to see that there were children from the northern part of India who were greeting children from the southern part of India in their local language, and they were responding back. So, and this is something which is very recent. This is like within 2.5 months, they started to pick languages from each other. And when you start picking languages from your peers and your colleagues, it's a very good sign. It's a very healthy sign. And besides this, we are doing a lot of group discussion activities. We are doing a lot of online, gamified learning. We are spending a lot of time in debates. We are doing a lot of time in. We're spending a lot of time in celebrating festivals. So children would know about. There were children who know about particular festivals celebrated in their particular state or in their particular culture. But now I think last 2.5, 3 months, children have come to know about many other festivals which happened during this period of time. So the same
Yes.
uh, 13th of April or 14th of April, whether it is Baisakhi in one state or something else in the other state, they know about these things now. When we started, we also thought that this may be a challenge, but what we're seeing right now, children are finding it extremely encouraging, very motivating, very inspiring to be in a classroom full of. Where else in India, I mean, would you find the opportunity to have your child in a classroom which has representation from 10, 15 different states? So as much as we thought that this may be a challenge, this has actually come out as an opportunity.
Yeah,
So
of course.
yeah, so and plus we spend a lot of, so I want to tell you, we spent a lot of, recently we started spending this mom time also. So besides, we've done activities where children are encouraged to come with their mothers or fathers, and they have these active forums where they interact, they talk to each other. We learn more about what they want from Kate school, what they do in their particular lives, how these things could kind of their paths are crossing, and it's a beautiful journey for each one of them. So I think children are enjoying it. I would recommend that given some more time, I would have possibly shown you some such videos also, where we would have shown you that how children 6, 7 years of age, they are speaking in their non-native language and they are simply loving it. So it's a beautiful
Thank
experience
you.
to watch. Thanks, Aditi.
Thank you. Good to hear you. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditi. Thanks for your question.
Indeed, this is an incredible school. And I would like another parent. Please go ahead with your questions.
Good evening, sir. Shivam this side. Am I audible?
Shivam, you're very much audible. Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. Sir, I hope you are fine too and staying healthy and safe at your place.
With your wishes and blessings. Very well.
That's
Thank you.
great. That's great. So question that I have is like one of my known relatives, they have their child into the same school. And during the 2 months of course time, I have seen a great change in that particular person, the particular student.
I hope the
So
change is positive.
Yeah, sir. The change is positive. The particular child is more interactive, and the particular child is more into taking up questions and seeing what kind of things he can do or she can do out of the various things she can see. Okay,
Okay.
so my question is like talking about my brother. So my brother he's more of a hyperactive child, and
Okay.
he likes to play cricket. So
Okay.
how can K8 school help him in choosing or following his passion?
Shivam, the curriculum at Cage School is designed in a way, it's kind of, it progresses in a way where we tell parents that the curriculum follows the student and not the other way around. So while we lay a lot of emphasis on academic learning, our primary aim is to make sure that each child is given ample time and opportunity to follow his or her dreams. Children, very recently, I think last week, we conducted a survey with parents where this survey was primarily based on the workload that they have post class, so more like what we call homework. So parents were telling me that children are enjoying, they don't even know when they finish their homework, and in the evening when the mother asks them, uh, uh, have you finished your homework? Have you done what the assignments that you've got? So they say, yeah, we've done it. It's pretty easy. And but they get a lot of time to spend outside of the classroom on what they want to do. So if you look at the classroom very closely at Kate School, you would have children who want to be actors, who would want to be social media influencers, who would want to be, there's a student who wants to be an ice hockey player. And then there are students who want to be athletes. There are students who want to be social media influencers. A lot of students want to be YouTubers. So we have this young crowd who are looking at career options from a very young age, career options which kind of excite them. While we appreciate that we should put all the learning together and make sure that when they're at school, they're given due time and attention for them to kind of progress academically. We also make sure that they get a lot of time outside of the classroom to spend time on what they want to pursue as a career choice or even a hobby for that matter. So as far as your brother is concerned, I can tell you very from what I'm seeing right now and what we have set out to roll at K School, he would get a lot of time to pursue cricket. And who knows, I mean, he may be the next big thing that the Indian cricket team is looking for. So my best wishes are with him. At the same time, I can assure you that he will get a lot of time to pursue his passion, which primarily is cricket. And we must allow children to pursue their passion. We must allow them to find their own calling in life. Everybody, I mean, they can always learn from the experiences that you've had, your parents have had, but they should be given their own individual space to experiment, figure out what they're good at, what skills they have or what skills they want to acquire. And K School primarily, I think, we do a lot of these things and we are doing it in a pretty holistic fashion. We also have we make sure we invite eminent personalities from different walks of life, from different career paths, people who have done well in their respective professions to come and talk to children. So that also gives them a lot of inspiration. And I know of a lot of children at K School over the last few months who have explored different career choices. So when they came in, they wanted to become a certain thing. Now they're saying, oh, I find this is something very exciting. I want to explore what this is. And some of them are doing well in that as well. So while your brother would get chance to do what he wants, he will also get exposure to a lot of other children who have different career choices that they want to take up. So I think we'll be able to do a good job at that.
Okay, thank you, sir, for such an insightful answer. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Shivam.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I think Kate School is the dream school of every child. I would have loved this as my school in my schooling years.
Mhm.
I would like to have another question.
So, Sharad Suraj, I'll ask you one more question.
Please.
See, the point here is that we all have been brought up by the traditional education methodologies of going to school and with a bag and all. And we are the one who will make decisions for our kids to take virtual platform education. So
Exactly.
So how do you change? What kind of a challenging situation you would have come across, or a common challenging question that you have heard from a lot of parents, other than socializing?
So parents, we used to have a lot of challenging questions. Say about till a few months ago when we started enrolling our first group of learners, and we started going through the exercise of welcoming students in the class. The parents used to come and ask me a lot of questions, but I think I've answered on a lot of other forums also. But one of the things that parent asks me very often, any parent asks me very often is, tell me something that would help me to make a decision about enrolling at KH school. So they want me to come up with a magic trick once in a while and tell them, oh, look, this is what I've got the rabbit out of the hat now. But one thing I want to tell you, and not just as somebody who is leading this entire change in the world of online schooling in India, I want to tell you something as a parent as well. I've personally feel that when I speak to a lot of parents, and which I do on a very regular basis, and I ask those parents, what did you want to be when you were growing up, when you were in grade 6, grade 7, grade 8, whatever? A lot of them tell me that I wanted to be an Air Force pilot, I wanted to be this, I wanted to be that. But when I ask them, what are you doing now? So they tell me, oh, I'm doing this, which is entirely different from what I wanted to be. So I tell them, if you were given a choice to go back in time, travel back in time, and go back to a school which gave you the liberty or the kind of opportunity to become what you wanted to become, would you want to become a child again and do that? So I see a lot of emotions from parents. They say yes, why not? But again, I am beyond this age now. This, whatever. So I mean, I try to build a hypothetical world for them if they could time travel. But I want to tell you, Suraj, I'm sure that you are doing well in life, and my best wishes are with you. May you keep doing well. As parents, we have come at a stage where we should go back and realize that if we were not to give our children the opportunity and take up this challenge, the bigger challenge of giving them the opportunity, helping them, get out of the crowd and create a niche identity of their own. If we were not to give ourselves, convince ourselves that our children need to be given this opportunity, I think we would be doing an injustice to them. So we have, I see a lot of parents who've done well in their life or whatever they're doing. Whether they wanted to become something else, they become something else, that's okay. But one challenge that they have to overcome is their own mind, where they have to tell themselves that, look, whatever happened, I'll give my child, if he or she wants to become something, I'll give them. And that is where K school comes in picture. So as I said, we have children who want to take up a lot of different professions, so a lot of diverse career choices. We have the right balance. And I'm not saying this, I have done a lot of research to arrive where it is now. So we give them the right balance. Hi, we have a young guest here. You're making me feel hungry. So we as parents should take this opportunity. And the challenge that we see is primarily more in our minds, in our hearts. Don't worry, I keep going back and talking to all the parents at K school, and I tell them, irrespective of what you want your child to become, give the child the opportunity. We'll make sure that we do a minimum level of academic work with them to make sure that they are at least at par. If they are not leading the race, they're at least at par, but they should lead the race in the profession where they want to be. So even you and I would have a lot of role models from different industries other than what we are in. We watch a lot of actors, we watch a lot of cricket players, we watch a lot of sports persons who inspire us. So we would want to give our children that opportunity to become one of those if they want to. So let them kind of live that larger canvas.
Thank you. I really appreciate the passion in your answer, and I definitely feel with K at school, our kids' future will be in secure hand because the leader of the show is so passionate about the subject.
Thank you, Suraj.
And it
Thank
really
you, Suraj.
brings
I get to
confidence in
learn
us
from
as
people such
parents.
as yourself. I get to learn from people such as yourself. My most of my learning is based either in classroom, watching children, learners, or speaking to parents such as you. So I talk to parents, and that keeps my learning also going up every now and then. So thank you so much for your question.
Thank
It's a
you so
very
much.
nice question.
I'm glad to see that the parents and the students are loving moving on with the paradigm shift and experiencing the future of education firsthand. I would like to have another question. Please go ahead. Do we have any other
Hey,
questions?
this is Harshita.
Hi,
Hi.
Harshita.
You just said that they should be at least the children should be at least at minimum level of education, but India follows NCRT, right? It is the standard for every school almost. So, what kind of books do you teach from?
Harshita, I would want to kind of, politely differ from you, defining the basic or minimum standards of education for all children. But again, our curriculum is designed in a way where children not just learn, they are inspired to learn. So what should be, if you were to ask me, what would be an ideal school like? An ideal school would be like where the teacher inspires and motivates the children to such an extent that she can actually make herself redundant in the classroom, or he can himself make himself redundant in the classroom, depending on whether the teacher is a female or a male. So we are working in a direction where we inspire learners to learn a lot on their own, get inspired to go to, uh, different kinds of materials that we have provided. And K8 school, while we have hundreds of children right now, and we don't really recommend any textbooks, but our learning management system is kind of, it's full of all the material. It's complete with all the material, all the learning aids, all the resources that children need to kind of learn on their own and feel inspired by it, to come back and learn every day. So everything is housed on that learning management system. We don't really recommend books from outside, and this is a curriculum which I must tell you that at this point that I speak, I know at least there will be a couple of million learners around the world. I know, as a matter of fact, who are using that same curriculum. So it's like sending your child in one of the top international schools in the world, sitting here in India, where you are sitting right now, right at the comfort of your home, safety of your home, and from your devices. So if you were to send your child in a similar school in US, or in some other part of the world who are following the same curriculum, and where the learning again is amazing, uh, I would say that you would have to pay at least 10 to 15 times of uh, what parents typically pay at K school. So it's like having the best of all worlds as much as we can bring to you, to the child, of course. And I'm sure that over a period of time, data will also suggest there are children's learning is far more concrete and far more relevant than a lot of other places where children typically go to, as in different schools. Having said that, I feel that even in very special cases, we do recommend a few textbooks, but those cases are exceptionally rare. They're rare, they're very, very rare. And the learning management system itself is so powerful that once a child enters it, it feels like he's in a 21st century classroom. So we have to understand that the learning curve of children have become steeper in the last few years, last few decades. So we have to give children those learning opportunities where they can learn faster. Their learning is far more concrete, it's more immersive, it's more engaging. So we've put all those things together, backed by research, in the curriculum that we provide at K School. Have I been able to answer your question, Harshita?
Just I was concerned, this textbook teaching thing. I wanted to know if you guys would be able to do something different from it. You answered it well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm happy to hear that. Thank you, Harshita.
Do we have any more
Yes.
questions? Yes, parents. Do you have any more questions?
Hi, this is Parul,
Hi,
and
Parul.
I have a question. So the question is, I mean, I just joined this call, so maybe you have gone through this already, but I just wanted to check with you. I mean, how globally the certification of K-8 school is accepted? I mean, we are planning to move abroad, most likely to Turkey or maybe to Dubai, but I'm not sure. I mean, how certification of K-8 school will be accepted there, or can we continue schooling there if we move in there?
Parul, I touched upon the answer to this question earlier, but I would answer it for you because you possibly plan to move outside of India. So 40,000 plus schools, some of the best in the world, in 85 plus countries currently at this point in time, uh, carry the same stamp of accreditation that we do. So when I say that, I want to tell you that we are privileged, with wishes and blessings from parents such as yourself, to reach that stage where we are fully accredited by Cognia. And your certificate, as a matter of fact, the accreditation that it carries would be valid across the entire globe. So whether you're moving to Turkey or you're moving to any other place, irrespective of that, and your child would be welcomed. It's not just if it is valid or not valid. Uh, if you're moving to Turkey or one of those countries, any country for that matter, would not just be valid. Your child would be welcomed. So the moment they see the certificates and they see that it is accredited by Cognia K school, they would know that your child is coming from a school which which follows the highest order of standards and norms that exist in the world of educational excellence. So you can be assured about that, and she'll do well. She'll do well now.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Sharad.
Thank you, Parul.
Do we have any other question? It seems, sir, that you have answered most of the questions of that parents were having.
Harsha, if I have, thank you for giving me this opportunity to interact with parents. I urge all parents to go and speak to one of our, go to our website, connect with one of our academic counselors, speak to somebody. We invite them to have a look at the classroom. This is something that we are building in collaboration and partnership with lots of parents. We want to create the best learning space for learners. We want to make sure that India's education system traditionally has been great. We've been known around the world for the kind of education that we've imparted, not just from now, but for thousands of years now. We're trying to bring a change in how we do it. We're trying to make it slightly better in the way we can. So I welcome all parents, otherwise also outside of this forum, from anywhere, to come speak to one of our counselors, speak to me, any questions that you have. And I would be more than happy, more than willing, and I would want to take this opportunity to answer as many questions as they have. So this is about building a whole new different change in the world of education. So we have to understand that as parents also, there's one parting thing that I want to say before I bring this forum to a gracious close. Help your child learn from what you've learned, but give him or her the freedom to experiment. And that's what Kate School is all about. So if you see, we say we have happy students and we have happy parents. And we say that because right from day one, we've set out to kind of make a school where both students and both parents are happy. So I would want each parent, whoever is kind of listening to me right now, or whoever wants to explore this idea of giving their children more wings to fly, so to say, to kind of go and explore Kate School. And we try our best on a daily basis. Our large group of teachers, they're trying their best inside the classrooms, even outside of the classrooms, to make this world a more happy, more smiling place for children. And let's do it together. So thank you for having me here, and I really appreciate that you've given me this opportunity. And I thank each one of you who asked me questions or who didn't ask me questions for giving me their precious time. Let's do it together. Let's build a partnership that lasts long.
Thank you so much,
Thank
sir.
you.
I think this was a very fruitful and informative session. Thank you so much, Mr. Bhatia, for supporting and bringing the best for us.
Thank you, Harsha.
For
Thank you.
joining in. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a great evening, all of you.